Do you always play the same kind of story in The Sims where you create your sim, they get a job, they have kids, they grow up, you're bored, and you stop playing? If that's the case, this series is for you because what we're going to do is create a bunch of characters that are going to be story led and they're going to keep you playing the game and having fun. We're going to start with a shipwrecked pirate. This is my character Rover Ramble. You've seen him in other videos. I thought we would use him as our kind of dummy for today. So Solani is an awesome world, but once you've kind of done the, bringing it back to life business, it's just this big open playground, really, where you don't know specifically what to do. So I thought it would be cool if we had this shipwrecked pirate who had to survive out there and engage with the local culture and all that sort of things. There's two options there you saw for hair that I particularly want to draw attention to. One is the cottage living one, which is a bit like a Robinson Crusoe romantic pirate. I've gone with this one. I think it's eco lifestyle, which is a bit more kind of Davy Jones. So we're going for a bit of a rough kind of pirate look with him. I've added a whole bunch of skin details and freckles and marks on his body as well. He's got the freckles on his shoulders, so it's really kind of like sun-weathered look for him. He's also still pretty malnourished from his rags to riches journey, so that I didn't change. I just gave him a bit more muscle, so he fits in a bit more with like the idea of a pirate who'll be up and down masts all day, but has been stranded on this island for a bit. And then obviously you're going to have to do things like fish for your food and have a fire to cook it on. Also scavenging for seashells and stuff like that. But it's also going to encourage you to go out to the festivals, which happen every day in Solani, because you're going to be able to go out and get some free food, and this is going to get you to engage with the locals a little bit more. You're also going to have to decide whether you like mermaids or not, because I think pirates are probably quite superstitious and would not trust mermaids with their life at all. Anyway, let's focus a bit more on the clothing we're picking now. There are two pirate hats, so to speak, in this game. One of them I think is spooky stuff, and the other one is Get Famous. Get Famous is incredible if you want a whole bunch of like inspiring, silly, fancy dress kind of outfits, but playing them as real characters. The top, I think, is actually Island Living itself. You'll see it has a really colourful first swatch, but if you go through, you'll find this one. The trousers, I want to say, are Get Famous as well. And then I'm just giving him like a little bit of makeup in like a kind of Captain Jack Sparrow look of like the dark eyes. I did add the scratch over his eye there. I wasn't really sure about it because I could have put on more makeup if I didn't do that, but I added lots of wrinkles and bits and pieces like that. There is also a full body pirate costume. In fact, there's two. I want to say again, it's going to be spooky stuff and Get Famous. They have two different kind of looks. One's more smart and one's a bit more kind of rough and ready, I suppose. So I made one of them formal, and there we go. That's the second one. Yeah, both of them right there for you. You've got a whole swatch of colours. So just pick whatever you prefer, I guess. I did switch up the hats. Because I thought one was more appropriate, one was more official and formal looking. The costumes and stuff I really battled with. I was trying to look for something that was like, what are they called, like pantaloons or something? And I really battled with it. I know there's something in there somewhere. I've seen it before and it's in the back of my mind. I could not find it for the life of me. So I've gone with the closest things that I possibly could find. But in terms of gameplay, so I did change up his aspiration to be beach life, and it'll be cool to have him do things like carver parties and stuff and have all his, future friends around. But there's also things like obviously selling your shells and selling tables, standard stuff like that. And now that we have business and hobbies, you could do stuff like there is specifically a lot that you could live on that has a shipwreck on it. And you could open that up as a kind of museum. I think there's like looking at collectibles and stuff. So there is also the feature of diving for treasure. So you could go off and dive, get all your, fingers of Sulani or whatever. You can either sell them or you can set them up as this kind of like hoard of treasure that you have in your ship, and everyone's coming to look at how rich and fantastic you are. And you get to flirt with all the ladies and try and swoon them and all that business. You could also start a war with the mermaids of how the occults are evil, and you should go off and destroy them all and see if you could kill off all the mermaids. Although that is maybe pretty extreme, but that's kind of how I play my game. I don't know, sorry, apologies. There is also one other cool thing you could do for your story in this, and that is Captain Fishbones. So we recognise him as the fish that you'll fish up. He's like a living skeleton. So you could change up your character. There is face paint of a skeleton, or you could make him undead and look like the skeleton, and you could play as the actual famous Captain Fishbones, which I think would be great. If you could get him up as a celebrity or something, or obviously you get to do all of the ghost stuff if he's dead. I just think that's a really cool idea and a really cool character that could end up being quite famous in your gameplay. I think that would be awesome. We're getting to the end now, so I just want to highlight a few of the packs that are really useful for something like this. So one is Get Famous, obviously, which has amazing costumes, so many different themes. If you like building characters like that, that pack is awesome. I also always use Journey to Batu because it's got some really cool boots and cool trousers and stuff. There is also the odd items from everywhere else, island living bracelets and things like that, but this gives you an idea of maybe the colours or the themes, so you'll be able to look for something in the packs that you have. Another useful one was also spooky stuff, because that's obviously, it's got the Halloween costumes in it, so they're a bit more playful, less realistic, if you can even say anything like this is, but that's a great option as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed this and it's given you a bit of inspiration. If there's any characters you want to see me design that you were thinking of, then please do comment. I've uploaded them to the gallery as well as Rover. You're welcome to download them for your own gameplay if you like. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like. I don't know, it's always weird to say that, but hopefully I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.